Good evening, you're watching government-funded news. The government of Canada has finally expelled a supposed Chinese diplomat after revelations he was tasked with threatening the family members of a member of parliament by the Chinese state. And because the government takes this issue so seriously, they were able to come to this decision quickly, without any pressure from opposition parties, and without projecting absurd weakness by waffling. Because of how seriously the Liberals are taking this issue of foreign interference, the House of Commons passed a motion calling for a full national public inquiry into Chinese election interference, the creation of a foreign agent registry, as well as the closure of all Chinese police stations operating in our country. And I believe we have the official vote count here, and oh, no, there's something wrong with the graphics department or the vote count there. It shows all the Liberals voting against all those things. That can be right.
Nope, that's how they voted.
Oh, that's right? But I don't understand. They're taking foreign interference so seriously. Hey, it looks like Han Dong voted nay as well. So unexpected. Who could have guessed that?
All opposed? Nay.
Who keeps saying that?
It was him. Let's get him, fellas.
The Liberal Party held their convention last weekend where members voted on resolutions for the party to include as part of their platform for the next federal election. Now, some of those resolutions were fine, like abolishing even the pretense of balancing the budget, obviously a good idea, but another resolution was a bit troubling. And you know it's troubling if we're saying that. This resolution requested that the government limit publication to online services information only whose sources can be traced. Well, that's a bit vague, isn't it? Can you think of an example of how that might be used?
Well, you remember those articles about Chinese interference that have kind of been popping up lately? Sort of making the Liberals look, incompetent at best and sort of traitorous at worst?
Yeah, I do. What about them?
Yeah, not allowed. Just would not be allowed, you know.
What do you mean that's not that's incredibly important information for our national security. The Liberals would still be doing nothing about the interference were it not for those articles.
Can't trace their sources, okay? It's disinformation.
Nope, that's a free press.
Look, I don't know what you just said, okay, but that sounds dangerous. There's not going to be any of that around here.
Free speech, though. This is where we're protesting? This isn't right. Where are the cameras?
They're in the free press zone, and if you could save your comments until you're completely loaded into the cage.
The government released the design of the new Canadian passports this past week, which caused some consternation among critics who say that important images of Canadian history and culture, like the Vimy Ridge Memorial or Terry Fox, have been replaced by a squirrel eating a nut and a man raking leaves. Some people even posit that the drawing of a young boy jumping into a lake is a nod to a young Justin Trudeau. Now, this would of course be impossible to prove, as the drawing does not have a smug, holier-than-thou shit-eating grin. Now, are these changes part of a wider scheme to transform Canada into the first post-national state with no core identity or culture, as Justin Trudeau has already declared we are? Well, you would have to be a raving lunatic conspiracy theorist to think anything like that. A Manitoba high school is ending observation of Mother's Day in order to transition to a more inclusive practice. According to a memo released by the school near Winnipeg, they wish to encourage non-gender specific observations of all those who support our students. And I believe we have a picture here of all those without biological mothers who felt offended by the name of the day. Here they all are in one room. Yeah, I want to make sure we're inclusive and include all those people. If you felt as though you should have been included in that picture but weren't, please feel free to email us at gofu@gofu.com and we'll be sure to correct that as soon as possible. Wackos. Well, that's all our time today for GoFU News. Thanks for watching. And remember, the Liberals aren't compromised by Chinese interference. They just happen to vote the way China would like. It's a coincidence. Good night.